Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is, of course, Thursday, July 8th, 2021. It's been a hectic morning this morning. Yeah, I was setting up my laptop out in the living room so that my mother could use it today. She's taken the day off, isn't feeling particularly well today, so decided to stay home. But she doesn't have her work computer with her, so I've set up mine, considering her personal laptop is incredibly old. So old, in fact, that the battery is legit dead on it, and it can only operate when plugged in. So much for being a laptop. So I set up mine. The problem with mine is I haven't turned it on in a really long time. Good morning, welcome, Vicky. So it has to do all of its updates because Windows 10 and it wants to update. I have Windows 10 Home / the basic version on that laptop and not 10 Pro, so I can't just tell it to not do its automatic updates. There's no way to force it to not. So it's updating to the Windows 2020 H2 second half update. So 20H2. There's a 21H1 update that not even my main computer has that it'll probably want to install as well, but we shall see about that. During this whole process this morning, I come back down into the office and find that all of the screens are black. And I find a kitty cat inside of the closet next to me, on top of the computer. Dolly pushed her way into the closet, jumped on the computer, and hit the power button. At least I wasn't streaming this time. She did that during a stream one time, and shut down the whole computer during a stream. It was great. I'm sure everyone was absolutely on the floor laughing, just so much because I got kittened. They were still kittens, and Dolly got in and jumped on the computer and hit the power button and shut down the computer. That was a while ago at this point. So yeah, I've adjusted the wires a bit as best I can. I had to shift the computer a little bit more to the side so that the wires could be up against the wall to try to keep that door as closed as possible so she can't push her way in. Uh, Hopefully this is fine. There's a very, very small gap now, but I've got sliding doors there. There's sliding doors here, and that gap right there is caused by the wires coming from my computer inside of the closet, because the wires have to come out, and I don't really feel like chopping a hole into that wall right there. I could chop a hole in that wall that goes right to the closet and then run the wires through that hole, but haven't gotten around to potentially doing that. If worse comes to worse, and that's the one she just pulled it open. It was a little bit more gap there, and she pulled it open, got in, and then I come back much later to find her right back in there again before I finally moved everything away. And because the computer turned off, that means every single setting in my webcam was reset. Every single webcam setting was reset. And apparently, at some point on her way in there, she also managed to unhook my audio cable from the computer. So we've just had a great morning today. Just a fantastic morning this morning, overall. So let's see. Do we have game? Yes, we have game. We have Factorio. Can I remember what the hell I was doing in Factorio? When we last met on Tuesday, we got blue circuits. That was the whole of the stream, essentially. I think I remember ending slightly late, despite finishing our build early because we were planning out reviewing the steps needed to get into modules. And, of course, just comprehension is the first step towards making any factory. We need to understand what we need to do for the build. And, yeah, as I said last time, we've got a whole one circuit out of this per second. And what I've done is, in the meanwhile, set up at my mall a bunch of buildings that require blue circuits. And so now I have a whole bunch of stuff. I no longer need these flotation cells. Thanks. Get rid of them. Don't bring them to me. They're gonna keep bringing them to me until I get rid of the requests for all of them. Did I get rid of the request for you? Nope, apparently not. I'm still using Ore Crusher 3s. That's actually the highest level of Ore Crusher that we can get. Right, I now have thermal water extractors, the rank 2s. We're gonna need those. We're gonna need those. I have salination plant 2s. I still have the level 3s of a lot of these buildings here, and even the level 2s of these. Just because these are locked by purple science, the higher rankings. Purple, I think. Pretty sure. A ton of purple tier buildings, 4-pit buildings, are locked behind purple science. Duh. Obvious. So, in the meanwhile, as I clear out some of the stuff I don't actually need in my inventory right now. Oh yeah, I have liquefier 4s. That's actually really nice. It's got a whole 1 crafting speed over the chem plant 3s. Electrolyzer 4s are also really nice. Really, really nice to have and to work with going forward. Let's make sure that I'm actually making a lot of those. Oh yeah, locomotive 3s. Yeah, I get to have these now. Where's my request for the locomotive 2s? Right there. Get rid of those and request those. Get rid of all those. Yeah, that's great. That is great. Yeah, more than that, please. Let's keep an entire storage of electrolyzers. We need a lot of those with time. These other ones are fine. I would like a couple lines on the crystallizer 2s as well. Oh boy, crystallizer 2s. Do I have those in my inventory right now? I've got 20 of them, which means I have put that request in, and I have not removed the request for the crystallizer once. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Filtration units, right. I did not look at that, but I suppose that yes, I am absolutely able to get the filtration units. I just need to add on the request for the filtration unit 1s here. And I'll be able to shift that request around as well to the level 2 versions. And because I have level 2 versions of a lot of this, and I have, like, upgraded stuff, massively upgraded stuff, we're getting closer and closer to, final builds, like what everything will look like in the long term. Where is this thing? There it is. Just get rid of that and, request those. Thanks. And get rid of those. The important thing about these upgraded buildings, besides being faster, is that they also tend to have more module slots. So this particular building has 2 module slots on it. The previous one, I think, is only 1. And I think that the crystallizer here has 2 module slots, as opposed to 1. You know, twice the module slots is really nice when you have productivity involved in the equation. And sure enough, you can do productivity on a lot of the crystallizer stuff in particular. I don't think you can't really do it on filtration, though. But, you know, speed modules are good too, I guess. Efficiency modules, maybe. I wish there was a washing plant 3. You know? I wish there was a washing plant, like, 3 and 4. And a hydro plant 4. Wouldn't that be nice? I think that would be nice. Maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll get these things. And maybe a, algae farm 4. You know, it would just make sense. It feels like they're missing. Alright. Modules. And the stuff for modules. I didn't really do anything in the plan last time for modules. I think I mucked about with this just to show the effort involved in getting gardens in the first place. If I wanted to get infinity amounts of alien plant life samples. Because, of course, we could do that, and we would have an output product of the things. It looks like this actually broke on me. Maybe. Meow. 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 Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Dolly? Yeah, my Dolly. The troublemaker. Dolly the troublemaker! What you doing? Yeah, you're not going to be able to get into that closet now or anymore. Yeah, I know. I know. You've been naughty. You've been a naughty Dolly. Yeah, she's meowing at me every time I say her name. Yes, Dolly. Yes, Dolly. How's my girl? A good girl? No? Been bad girl? That great big bushy tail. That great big bushy tail. She's sleepy. She's sleepy, girl. Yeah, you looking at the green screen? What's the green screen? Oh, you're sniffing? What you doing? Flicking that tail on my shoulder? Yeah, you see something? Is something flying around? The cats have gone nuts lately for for flies. These kitties, this Dolly and the Ollie, have gone nuts because of the houseflies being out. Uh, they see one and they then must chase it and must catch it and must eat it. Just yesterday, I think I saw Ollie actually caught one and ate one. So we're not going to do this. We're not going to try to get infinity alien plant life samples. It's just dumb to try to do that. This is the most ill-advised thing I've ever seen. What I will do though is put in my request for the seed extractors. Give me some of those, so I don't have to go hunting them down. Oh yeah, I remember setting this up. We now have as many bearings as I would desire for the moment. Alright, you've brought me an amount. An amount is a good amount. What you are going to do is you are going to process gardens into stuff. Now, I have a lot of gardens. I've been expanding my base a lot with time. My base is a little large. It's got a pretty large geographic area. So I've collected many, and as I go, we can keep getting more and more and more and more and more gardens. We have so many gardens that we have thousands of science of the plant life samples worth of gardens. The only reason there is a reason to farm gardens for infinity plant life samples. And that is because you need them if you want to grow, if you want to make the biome-specific farms, which have, I think, twice the crafting speed of the basic farms. Because there's basic farms, and then there's desert and temperate and swamp farms that are specific to those recipes, and they go faster. They need plant life samples to craft in the first place. So it's ideal, if you're trying to get those, to have an infinite supply of plant life samples. Good morning, hello, welcome. Welcome, Ave and Charlie. But even if they're faster, I don't think they're worthwhile. I'm not going to try to get the farms because the environment kits are the issue. It's 5 plant life samples per kit, which is 1 per farm. And if you're building at massive scale, that's a lot of stuff. Yeah, until now I haven't even touched bioprocessing. So at this point we are starting from absolute scratch. on the bioprocessing side of things. Now, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to stick down a box. It's just going to load the box with half of these. Give me a regular box, actually. I want to devote a regular box to keeping some of these gardens around, because I don't want to just get rid of all of the gardens. I do want to process gardens, though. Yeah, so my decision here is that I'm not going to really bother with the infinite cycling of the temperate of the gardens in general to get infinite plant life samples. However, we still need to do essentially all of the stuff. Like, we still need to make goo. We're going to need goo, no matter what. The mineralized water is easy, so if I did want to get infinite amounts of the plant life samples, we're going to have a setup getting goo anyway. Meow, 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 meow. Dabba, dabba. Meow, 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 meow. What is it, Dolly? What's the matter? What's the matter? You're at my feet meowing at me. You're at my feet just meow, 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 meow. Whatcha matter? Whatcha matter, my sweet? My naughty girl. Naughty girl! She's naughty. She's a naughty girl. She turned off my computer today. She got in, she pushed her way into the closet today and turned off my computer. But in Sea Block here, yeah, there's in Sea Block and in any normal game of Angels. In Sea Block and in any normal game of Angels, you will have gardens. They will be around. You just have to explore to find the gardens. Granted, if you are playing with biters, good luck. That's what I'll say with that. If you are playing with biters, good luck with the gardens. You may absolutely have to do this. And oh my god, this is 300-second craft time. Just... But why, though? But why does it need to be 300 seconds craft time? Oh my goodness. That's a lot. There. Evenly distributed. Ish. Yeah, I wasn't on the computer at the time. I was busy, thus how she managed to get into the closet. She was able to sneak in to the room and pushed her way into the closet to get onto the computer. To turn it off. I wasn't in the room at the time. I was busy with my laptop in the living room on the other end of the house, trying to get it updated. It's currently updating. I am keeping gardens. I'm keeping half of my gardens. Half of my gardens are in this box. Let's see, so we have 18, 32, and, 50 plus. 18, 32, and 50. Let's do that. 18 plus 32 plus 50. So that's, 3,200 science. in total of the plant life samples, when each one gives me 32. That's a bit of science, not gonna lie. And also would be quite a few of the farms in the end. Now, memory serves, this is exactly 32 to pick up this science. Yeah, it's like I can get every single one of the plant sciences at about 1,000 as far as I can see. We've got, if anyone wants to do math with me, we've got 32 plus 32 plus 64. So we've got 128 for the desert farming line, which means we'd also have 128 for swamp and 128 for temperate. So that's 384 to go down the farming lines. We've got then fermentation and its lines as well. That leads to temperate arboretum. We also have desert and swamp. So this one's 40. 40, 40, 50, 50, 50, 100. Okay, so that's 200 per arboretum line. So plus 200 plus 200 plus 200 for the arboretum lines. That's 1,024. Then we have 80 for bioplastics 1 and 2. Fish pressing is 40. This arboretum 2 and 3 is another 100. And then the entirety of the alien bioprocessing with biters and all the puffer stuff. So we've got 100 for alien bioprocessing 2 and 3. We've got, well, we'll need biter refugium 1 from puffer refugium line. So that's isn't there, where's the puffer breeding? So I think I've already done hatchery. No, I haven't done hatchery, so it's 50 for hatchery, 100 for butchery 2. Do I have butchery 1? Yes. 100 for butchery 2. We've got 200 there on the puffer refugium 1 and 2. 3 and 4 are another 200. Biter refugium 1, 2, and 3 is another 300. And I think that's it. I think that's all of them in total. So it's like 2,194-ish. So that's all of the science total. Is actually a little over 2,000. I might have missed something in there, but from what I can see, it's just a bit over 2,000, about 2,200 units of the science, which, you know, if you divide it by 32, that's... Ahem. That's 69 gardens to process. The equivalent of 69 gardens. How nice. Nice and lovely. Now, That also assumes that you do not and cannot have productivity in science labs. If you have productivity in science labs, it's easy. It's real easy. Real easy. Um, it's a lot less overall units of science, but I don't. I don't think that Sea Block allows productivity in science labs from what I could tell by the setting overwrites on Science Cost Tweaker. I'm pretty sure it specifically sets that the labs in Science Cost Tweaker cannot have productivity in them, which is dumb, incredibly dumb. But sure, we'll just live with that for now. In the meanwhile, yeah, and it's sort of impossible to have the productivity without having some amount of the tax, because we need this tech to have beans from Beanafran. Now, I may as well queue all the things whilst I am here. I will need to get into the puffer stuff. Puffin stuffin'. I don't really need you. It just converts puffers to meat. But I guess I'll get you anyway. Puffer refugiums. Do I even need 3 and 4? Gaseous atmosphere puffing. Rancid waste puffing. I mean, if I wanted to use puffers, maybe. But that's my whole queue. That's the entirety of the queue. 81%, 82%, 84%. I'm gonna let this tech happen, or let this cycle finish here. That's at 80 some odd percent. So I can take all of the however many samples, 4 times 32 total, to the science processing. And we'll have our science going. And then we can move on, move forward. Hey! Returning member! There we go. Thank you for continuing as a member of the channel. 4 months! 4 months. That's nice. You're just about... You're getting closer to the next little badge. Loyalty badge. Okay, we've got stuff. 128. Let's get in the car. Where's the car? There's the car. Way up top. It's been a little while, actually, since we've gotten a new member. I am very grateful for the 10 folks who are members of the channel, and all the folks supporting on Patreon and all that. But just as a reminder, at 15 members, we will get another emote slot unlocked. I have no idea what the emote would be for that next slot, but hey, just at 15, there will be a slot. Why did I do this? Why did I put that so close? I seem to have forgotten. You need space on both sides for a couple belts. Yeah. Unfortunate. Wait a second. Can I even work with this? Long term? Grand scale? So the inserters only go to length 2, long-handed inserters. Red, green, blue, gray, purple, yellow, pink, white. One lane, 2 lane, 3 lane, 4 lane. Four lanes. Okay. It's fine. It's just that if also plant science, it doesn't work anymore. If also plant science, it doesn't work anymore because then you need a 5th lane. And that complicates things greatly. It requires different spacing and all of that. So what I'm going to do is I need to actually make these into optimized biome planners. Which needs ground samples that I completely forgot about. Oops. Oops. I completely forgot. That's right. Here I am thinking I'm ready to do stuff. No, I'm not ready to do stuff because the thing is a actual science pack. And we need to make an actual science pack for this. Alright, back we go then. Back we go, so I can actually do an actual science. Yes, I'll be moving the science manually over. Because, I mean, there's only a set amount of science that we'll ever need, right? Of the biome stuff. Go ahead and plop this down. We'll do this in the mall. Make these biome planner sciences. That's... Ha! Yeah, note that this science exists only because Science Cost Tweaker. Gosh, that's, annoying. That's, just a little annoying. Compost plus soil. Paper and bricks. Paper. No. No. Maybe, actually? Oh, what the... I mean, that's one way to get into hydrazine, but still, no. Loops. Crafted in, nothing. Crafted in, nothing. Doesn't exist. Okay, fine, whatever. Cellulose pulp. Does this version not use paper at all? Well, it uses paper, it's just... It uses it to make wood boards primarily. For the basic circuit boards, but wood boards, you could also use wood. It just is for wood boards as a way to get wood boards in the very early game. I tend to keep it like this though because it seems to me like the overall infrastructure is a little bit smaller using paper for the wood boards than going through the effort of making the wood. I don't know why there's no like wood into these things. I mean, there's wood into cellulose, but at least I think there's wood in the cellulose. There better be wood to cellulose. Yeah. Like, there better be. So, what we need... What we need here for the pulp is alginic acid, or alginic, which is brown algae, as well as cellulose fiber, which is green algae. Green and brown algae. Well, as it turns out, all the way up and over here, I have this neat little arrangement that I can just straight up copy from here. Grab everything involved with this, please. That's the plan. And we're gonna just plop it and get rid of all the stuff that actually makes the wood boards out of this. This will... I think needs something. Does this need... What does this need? I don't think it needs anything. It just moves. What do I need the paper for? I need the paper as paper for protective scaffolding. To make a ground sample to make the science out of the alien plant life samples. So plant life samples go in here. And then the other stuff will go in here. I'll box it and request it. And this is specific to the science cost tweaker. I apparently have a little bit of stuff in storage. Interesting. Interesting. And this should make paper. This is a good paper factory, I suppose. Now we get the, oh. Huh? Oh, right, it's doing that. The alginic and all that good stuff. There you go. Enjoy your paper. Enjoy the paper. I also need wood bricks. Wood bricks? Fortunately enough, I can also steal from, something else. Do I really need it at that scale, though? Nah. Nah, instead, I will steal... What will I take from? This? No, we'll do this a little sneakily. So I will need green algae through the other recipe. And for this, because I've brought charcoal in from my train network, it makes it a lot easier. Rotate, please. Give me my liquefiers. In case I want more, go one tile removed. carbon dioxide from charcoal, mineralized water from crushed stone. It needs water. The crushed stone has to come in from somewhere, but it doesn't really matter where. Put down a requester chest to bring the stuff in there. That'll shove stuff out that way. It's just I would need crushed stone, which is crushed from slag from, you know, electrolysis. So I'll put down like 2 thingies. These are faster buildings. It'll be fine. Void, void. Output, output. Water. Power. Slag. I have 2 of these buildings, 1.25 slag, apparently. Crusher. Crushing. Mineralized water. Green algae. Two of these buildings. Feed. 1. Cellulose. It's 10. Each one makes 5. And that makes cellulose fiber. I can then plop there the pellets. And below, plop from pellets to bricks. And we can load up bricks. The bricks! Glorious bricks! Here, have some power. And that's the scaffolding. This is a little more complex. Compost can be made out of anything. So as long as I have composters, we can make compost. And by far the easiest thing to make compost will be the saline water brown algae recipe. Why? Because it gives me 1 output, and saline water is a building. A singular building. The salinator 2, if I can find that purple salination plant. So this building is going to make 160 saline water, which 1 saline plant can give enough water for 32 brown algae. It's just a few. Now I have 4. That are going to be loaded into composters. Now, how quickly does this process? 5.633. That means I'd need 2 of them. Go ahead and load up that compost. Glorious, beautiful, wonderful compost. Why it says Lithia salt, I don't know. It's making compost. And then we get into soil. Oh, soil. Oh, soil. Soil is compost and sand or compost and mud. From all of this. That makes it really, really, really easy to make soil. Because, well, plop down a thing. I forget it. Blah. Undo that one. That. Void. And that. Congratulations, we have a mud factory. That'll go into a thingy and make soil and just requester chest. Not the mud, the compost. And provider chest. Ta-da! And that gives soil. Very, 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 very easy to make compost and soil. Making fertilizer more complex because urea. Making this fertilizer, shall we say, the Angel's fertilizer. There is, in fact, a different fertilizer. Although it is disabled, finally, it doesn't. There is a Bob's fertilizer. It looks a little like this, but it doesn't exist in anymore while running all this. So it used to be that Bob's greenhouse mod had the basic greenhouse recipe, which is raise seedlings, get wood, but it also had raise seedlings with Bob's fertilizer, get more wood. And Bob's fertilizer is significantly easier to get than the Angel's fertilizer. To my mind, anyway. Probably not exactly the most accurate of things, but hey. Oh, if that works. Wow, these actually produce more than what you need for the one. Huh. This is 1-to-1, but these actually feed multiple. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. Actually, this could genuinely be a requester chest for the thingies, but I don't want to use all of them. And that's the key. I don't want to convert more than the 2,200 and something. Are you done? No, you still have, like, a lot to process. Before moving on to the next garden type. And that's only half of my gardens. Like, oh my gosh. I have a spare close to 1,000. I have, like, an extra, like, excess 1,000 science just by processing half of my gardens. I chew through all of the science, all the technologies, and I still have more. And I still have another 3,000 plus biome plant life samples that I could use. Potentially. So that's nice. Ugh. Ugh. Somehow that was a hair in my cup. Ew. More coffee. More coffee is always, always, always the answer. Once you get to 100, I will take you out to my science labs. 9 and 100. Vehicle! We may now process science. This will probably only really process 2 whole sciences with this 100. But, yeah, we'll let stuff accrue for now, because really this, is going to allow me to get into beanafran processing into beans, and I can do that while this science is processing. Go, go, go. Or while I'm waiting for the science to be crafted, is how I should really word that. Boom. Boom, bang, pow. At least I know I have enough steel. Ah, I haven't heard that sound in a while. Right, which reminds me. I mentioned how there was a difference in audio volume on my computer now. Thanks to, thanks to the new motherboard having a different audio processor chip than previously, and it being better quality. Uh, yeah, it is better quality. I've very much noticed the, there is a broader range now in the low end. I'm actually hearing more on the low end. It is noticeable to me. Okay, and that's all the science processed that I just took over there. As quick as that was. Okay. I'm gonna do a copy paste now. I'm gonna copy this and paste down out here. And get rid of that processing. Why? Because I'm gonna be adding other things into this later, or as we go. I'm gonna want bean processing, because I need beans for the gaseous puffing, or breeding, I should say. Gaseous puffer breeding, right there. It needs beans. I will need beans. I will get beans from Beanafran, because that's pretty easy. I think I have some zombie calyptus collected, but I know that I have beans. But Beanafran, really easy, because sand and saline water. Really, really easy because sand and saline water. And of course you have to convert beanafran into beanafran seeds to get beanafran excess to then get beans. So if I say that I would like, I don't know, just a puffer out of this with matrix solver on, what we'll see is that, huh? Oh, right, you tend to get your gaseous puffer back. It's how many eggs do I want? Not really puffer out, because that, yeah. If I want a egg out on here, we can see, oh hey, scale, but we also can see 6.67 beans. Let's say I want to make 15 beans. That's our scale right there. And that's the basic farm. I could go desert farm, and we go from 15 to 13, from 25, excuse me, to 13. We have the amount of farms that we need by doing that, and it does reduce the power draw, I think, from 3.4 to 2.5 overall. So, with my excess biome planners, I may make farms until I run out of farms, and then I'll be fine beyond that. So the key thing here is sand, which, yeah, that process. From that. And saline. Yeah, from one of those. Yeah. From you know, one of those. Do you see how easy this is to do bean farming? And that's beans. That's just beans. There are far more complex processes than beans. In particular, I think we're also going to need nuts at some point. And, yeah, nuts. Nuts, nuts, nuts. How does one get nuts? Well, L-N-dilomine. Blah, 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 blah. L-N-dilamone. However the heck you say that. L-Dilamone. Gives exclusively nuts. We've also got stuff that gives nuts and leaves, and stuff that gives nuts and corn, and dust. Only one thing gives just nuts. So that is going to need to be the thing. This stuff comes from, oh hey, mud. And viscous mud water. Well, it ain't that easy. And that's super easy. Matrix solver. I want 15 nuts. There you go. 15 nuts. This is identical to Beanafran in essence, because you go Beanafran into seeds and convert the seeds. Here you go. Yeah. The stuff into seeds and stuff into nuts in the end. So, you know, mud is the whole process, but, yeah, mud comes out of the whole thing. And it's just, hey, viscous mud water in the end. Now, of course, this needs a lot of mud, which is bigger scale. And when this is the only real way of getting mud, yeah. Just slightly larger scale for 15 nuts. Alright, well, that's nuts. There's also fruit. Which is tied to things. Wow, you give alien bacteria through the mushroom potato, but we have to deal with the fruit and pips. Oh yeah, there's also pips and leaves. There's beans, nuts, fruits, pips, and leaves. Probably more. Beans. Oh, and corn. Right, there's corn and leaves. So we have corn, leaves, pips, fruits to think about. We don't need to think about all of them though. I need to look very specifically at the ones that I need to do my puffer breeding to get into the specific puffers I need to get the biter eggs. So I need blazing, acidic, and corrosive. I need blazing, acidic, and corrosive in the grand scheme. And this one is pips. Acidic is pips. Corrosive is fruits. And blazing is nuts. And the beans are required to start the process to get initial eggs for blazing, acidic, and corrosive. So I will need fruits, pips, and nuts. We've looked at nuts. This is fruits, and then I will need pips. Beautiful, glorious pips. So we don't have to look at corn, and we don't have to look at leaves out of this, but we do need these. Now, Zello squash. I actually did this previously, I think. And then how do I get rid of... Oh, easy. Yeah! So it's really simple to get rid of cellulose fiber. You throw it into a liquefier to make methane, and then you can void, or make methanol, excuse me, and then you can just void the methanol in a flare stack. It's really easy to kill this byproduct. However, you may notice, Zello squash is a little bit different. Zello squash is a little bit different. A bit. You use a seed to get Zello squash, and then you convert Zello squash into fruits, and you get a dormant seed out of this. So, how does one get their first dormant seed? Or how does one get their first seed? You can only get Zello squash seed out of processing gardens. You actually have to process the gardens to get the seed. Now, I would like to have this recipe, because that's a really low chance at getting any seeds out of that, and you get half the plant life samples. I don't really want the plant life samples at all. So this is going to involve probably this next tech. Yeah, this next tech will allow me to have a chance at getting seeds. And note that Zello squash is a 20% chance of happening. 20% chance at happening. So we will need to do that. To get our first seed to start the process. This is a guaranteed output on the dormant seed, and the dormant seed has a chance of giving you extra Zello squash seeds. Wait, extra? Yes, extra Zello squash seeds. So what does that imply? It means that eventually we will have too many seeds. And will clog the system because we have too many seeds. Meaning, there's a slight problem there. We'll have to deal with the seeds for the squash. We'll have excess of something overall. Now, fortunately, you can throw excess seeds into a composter to make compost, which, as you can see, this needs fertilizer, which, of course, means that you will need to make compost. So this is going to require an overflow production into compost that then is prioritized to produce the fertilizer that's used in the system. And that's how we have to deal with that. It's a lot more complex than the other processes, just because of that slight chance of getting excess seeds in here. We have to do something with the excess seeds. Once we have enough to do what we need to do, we'll hit 15 there. Then, of course, this is the same thing, same level of scale as the being a friend on all of that, and, you know, just add saline on that back end, and then, you know, fertilizer just has to exist. We'll need urea, of course, for this process, which means doing a bit of work on getting the ammonia and getting that carbon dioxide, but that's easy in the grand scheme. So that's fruits. That's infinity fruits, actually. And then, of course, we will need pips. Pips, pips, pips. Okay, the best way to get pips, the only way to get pips, is pips plus crystal dust out of Nil Aubergine. Oh boy, it's a Nilaus reference. Hi. Of course, Quill Noir is reference to Quill 18. Every single one of these is a reference to a content creator, by the way, of some description for Factorio. They were named before I was around, so of course I don't have a thing named after me. Of course, I'm not all that popular anyway. Let's see. So we have the same circumstance where, yeah, so if this looks like the stuff with the Zello Squash, that's because it's exactly like the stuff with the Zello Squash in the end. So we need to convert a dormant to a seed. We get excess seeds in the end. 5% chance of an extra seed. We'll need to get a seed out of the desert garden processing. And, yeah, that'll be that. Unfortunately, this has another wrinkle in it. I could deal with crystal dust by converting it into slurry. By bringing in sulfuric acid, and I can void the stuff. And, or I can use the part of the crystal dust for the eggs experiment stuff that I'll need to do anyway. Problem in here, unlike Zello Squash, which needs the fertilizer anyway, we can compost, but then what do we do with the compost? Huh. Huh. So again, same stuff, sand plus saline here. There's no fertilizer, no compost here. So while yeah, I could make, because you see we're getting a 0.02 excess dormants out of the 15. It's very, 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 very slow. It's very, 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 very slow. What do you do with the excess? However, this is fine. While it would be nice to have a permanent solution on the excess stuff for both of these, mind you, for both of these processes, these three things are not perpetual. We are not going to have to do our puffer puffing breeding for very long. We only really need to do enough to get the biters through the experiment recipes. Initial amounts of biter queens through the experiment recipes. So there is an end to needing to get pips and to needing to have fruits and nuts. I'll still be doing beans, though, because fish. Because fish. Hey, thank you for the subscription. We haven't really broken down anything that we need to do yet for the biter side of things. But suffice it to say that the biter side of things and the actual processing into these crystals in the end, if I do crystal shard, let's just actually look at the crystal shards in here. Yeah, so let's look at the polished shards. Polished from cut. From raw crystal shard down here. this is the end of the line. Before we get into the standard Bob's recipes, otherwise for making modules at that point. Raw crystal shards, our primary supply is going to be coming in from. Oh, this is the medium one? Oh, I'm looking at shards. Excuse me. The first thing we're going to look at is splinters. Yeah, shards is getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Splinters come first as a requirement and are used for the first, I think, 3 levels of modules. But same thing. We're going to get these primarily out of this process. Now, you may have noticed there is a polluted artificial fish water process. We do not want to do the polluted artificial fish water process. It is extremely large scale. Oh my gosh, it requires so much fish. So much fish. It's abysmal. However, biters. Biters will come from a mix of these two processes. I will need the matrix solver on if I want to say, like, hey, I want 5 of these out. Why are you... Why are you just not... Huh. The game is, noping? I might be missing a recipe. Hold up. Small biter. We've got... Oh, right, eggs. Duh. We need to, we need to hatch eggs that we get from, breeding. And then we have the zoo recipe here that gives us the things. Then what the heck is... I don't think it's that recipe. That's not the recipe that I do. It's the other one right there. Hey, Vicky, 9 months now as a member. Thank you so very much. Get that to the bottom. Okay. So, from here, notice nutrient pulp. Nutrient pulp can be made out of beans from bean and fran. So, A, beans into pulp. It's one of the easiest ways to get nutrient pulp. And of course, I could do this for power by making veggie oil out of it. Raw veggie oil out of stuffs and things, out of beans and such, but we'll ignore that for the moment. We also need alien processed meat. Oh boy. That means goo, and that means meat. Now, yeah, you notice we get a tiny bit of raw meat out of here, but we'll need meat. Meat can come from, of course, fish. I don't think it really matters, the fish, actually. Or puffers, or the existing biters. But we'll start with... We'll look at all of them, just because each one is slightly different in how you handle them. So for the Factorian fish... I don't even know why petting exists. We want breeding. We want to breed the fish, cycle some of the fish back, and butcher the rest into meat. And you end up with polluted fish water, which, of course, polluted fish water can be used. You could throw crystal seeds at it to get a guaranteed output of splinters, so it can be used to improve your splinter output, is how I'll put that, word that, if we use that process. Yeah, petting is for rapid polluted water, but you don't really need the polluted water. See, that's the problem, is that there's a scale problem there. There is a bit of a scale problem. So these guys just need pulp and fish water, which that's simple. And hey, it's just more beans in the end. Santa rays need meat, but output 5 to... Oh, you output 5 to 10. That's probably why this is preferring the Santa rays. Let's add all of them and see which one the matrix solver says is the best. The matrix solver says that Santa rays are the best. Shall we agree with the matrix solver on this one? Shall we agree? So with Levac breeding, oh my gosh, that... What? Levac is 5 to 10. Factorian fish breeding is 2 to 4, so obviously that's not going to be as good. Levac fish is 5 to 10, and it's brown algae. What's the timing? 60 seconds. It's brown algae. And 20 pulp. 20 pulp, 100 fish water. 100 fish water. Nah, Santa rays are not the best. Spending the raw meat is not... I don't see how that's ideal over brown algae from saline. How is the having to breed more and cycle back the raw meat better than just feeding it brown algae? So here it's 23 buildings. If I get rid of that, what's it going to default to? No, it's still going to default to Santa rays. If I get rid of Santa rays, what are you going to now? You're going to the Dorflurp. Dorflurp needs green algae. Now that's where I'm going to have to disagree again, because brown algae is easier than green algae. It's 5 to 10, and it's the same ratios, the same everything else, except it's green algae this time. I'm going to have to say that, again, no, because brown is just saline. The green algae, if you do the standard water recipe, it gives you green and brown, and the standard green algae recipe is... Also note, this is saying 34. But why? What are you trying to do? This is doing something funny. This is doing something weird. It's producing more alien processed meat than I want it to. Why? Oh no, it's looping back. What am I thinking? I saw that these two numbers differed, and I'm like, huh? And then, oh right, it's that plus that should equal that. So 34. 34 versus... Oh, you know what? I know why. I know why it's... Duh! It's 2 raw meat per Santa Ray versus 1 per Levac and a half per Factorian fish. That's what's making it the best out of all of this. That's why Matrix Solver is preferring this. Yeah, it's 23 fish tanks versus the 34 some odd tanks that it would be for the Levac, even though it's brown algae and even though we're doing extra looping in here. Levac fish is not the best because Santa Rays give you 2. So there's that. That is the solution. Now, what happened to everything? Right, get rid of that. You can get rid of that. And that is the answer. Bear in mind, in Space Angels, I'm pretty sure I used Factorian fish. I don't really remember what fish I used in Space Angels. I don't remember. Then again, I had like 200 plus fish farms. So, little extreme. Little extreme. I used Levac, apparently. Alright, well, this time I'll use Santa Rays. And against my better judgment, I will do the looping on the raw meat. Yeah, because we're gonna get all this nutrient pulp out of beans. And look, it's only 1.91 beans in the grand scheme. 1.91 total for 5 splinters. Do you know how much stuff 5 splinters makes? I mean, it's not just that they're used for pollution cleaning modules. I mean, yeah, they're used for pollution cleaning modules, but each of the previous thing here, all these circuit boards, if I'm like, rather than saying 5, if I want 5 of each of these boards, well, yeah, scale. We need lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of scale. That's a lot of fish tanks already, just to get 5 of these. And bear in mind that we're just looking at the small biters. The medium and large biters follow the same exact process of the meat plus pulp. So the more meat we need, the more fish processing we need to get more meat. So even at 45, just for the 5 of each of those, it's yeah, it's tough. Bear in mind that's 1 each a module. If I look at the productivity, yeah, those circuit boards there, just only used for level 1 and 2 apparently, not 3. So, yeah. Yeah. And then we get into the concept of these are not all going to be used in the grand scheme of things. These raw splinters make 3 types of crystal. We're not going to be consuming all 3 types of crystals evenly in the final scheme of things when making the modules. It's not an even distribution of how much of each of these types of crystals there are, and therefore there are also recipes that let you effectively void the excess that we'll need to look at later. But just bear in mind, if I say 5 per second of each of these things, think of it as, okay, that will ultimately be 5 per second of that given module type at level 1 of potential production without productivity gains. All of this is subject to productivity gains. Not really all of it, but each of this final production of circuit boards is subject to productivity gains. The actual crystals, no. None of the crystal stuff is subject to this. Hello, PY. Welcome to, the stream. You've missed about half of the stream. We are about to take our first break of the day. I'm setting up my plan right now. I'm setting up the plan that will eventually lead into modules. But, because, by the way, I've been waiting for tech for the sciences to process and to process the stuff here. Okay, they're finally on their almost last thingies. That's another 800 science potentially. Go ahead and process all of that. That's my alarm. Tell me it's break time. Before I go on my break, what I'll do is I will head over to my science labs to get this science deposited. So the only thing you've missed in this first half in terms of actual progression is setting up the stuff. Thank you for Andrew Norcross for continuing your membership for 9 months. Oh boy. Oh boy, 9 months. Wow. I will be shocked when I see the first people at a full year. Be like, huh, we'll finally have some high-tech bots showing up relatively soon. I forget if it's at the 1 year or at the 9, actually. I think it's 1 year. Alright, a tech has happened. Oh boy. A very important tech has happened, actually, because that'll allow me to get into Zello Squash. And with that, once I get back into my mall, right here, we're going to take a break, and when I come back from the break, we are going to be setting up Beanafran. That sounds like a plan. We're going to set up Beanafran as we chew through these techs, and then we'll think about getting what we need to do to get into the puffer puffing, as well as to do the egg experiments to get the biter eggs that we want / need. And then we can think about all the like biter raising and all of that to get into the crystals and then the crystal processing and then all of that. So this is a long-term thing. It's going to take us at least 4 streams, I'm thinking. I don't know. I've already processed through this once in a previous playthrough, so I do know what I need to do. And because I've already done it once, it should be faster this time. So we'll see how long it actually takes in the end. It's time for a break. I will be back shortly. And I have returned. Welcome back. Just took a extra minute or two at the laptop out in the living room just because it seems to have finished its update to Windows 10 version 20H2. At least I think it's 20H2. That's what it said it was installing. So, of course, that seems, yeah, because that was a bigger update to Windows. It's like, oh hey, I'm a new system now. I need all my settings that you previously had to be set again, because I've reset all my settings for things. So that'll be great. I no longer have a desktop background. It's just a black screen. So that's great. Hello, Ollie. My boy. My boy has joined me. You're warm. You're a warm kitty. Yes, you're very warm. How's my Ollie? There's the boy. We've now had both of the babies here. Yes, my baby. So PY coming in, Pi coming in and asking about what crops I'm using and what fish I'll be using. I'll be using Santa rays, as we sort of just have gone over the fish and the crops, but just to make sure that we're all on the same page here, I will be doing Santa rays because Santa rays give you 2 meat per Santa ray, even though they need meat to grow. The output is just so much higher than the other processes that the scale is the lowest of all of the options for fish for this purpose. Um, when the point is to maximize how much meat you're getting out of the system. There might be a point to the other fish, but not for meat. Not for meat. Meat, the best option here is Santa rays. Now, the individual crops that we'll be using, I will be using Beanafran for beans. I will be using whatever the heck this is called, Elendilamone for the nuts. I will be using Zello squash for the fruits, and I will be using the Nilau for pips. Nilau for pips, Zello squash for fruits, Elendilamine for nuts, and Beanafran for beans. So there's that. Now, if I was choosing between the other options, if we were to ignore Santa rays, I would pick the Levac fish every time because brown algae is the easiest to obtain. Most of the folks that had their names named for the things aren't even playing Factorio anymore. Yeah, I know. Although some go back. I know Quill goes back on occasion to play Factorio. Although I don't know about Quill 18 these days. He's fine, but I just don't agree with some of the things he has to say regarding like Paradox in general and their business model. Like he likes the aspects of Paradox games that I detest entirely. I really don't like their business model, and I don't support them anymore. As a publisher and game developer, I can't bring myself to do it. I don't like feeling like a game that I bought 6 months down the line is a different game. I don't like that. I bought and paid for a specific experience, and I don't want that experience to be fundamentally altered. And Paradox does that. They absolutely do that. And it was the most egregious with actually Stellaris. I lost all faith in that company with Stellaris. as an example, because the developers decided on their own whims to remove entire features from the game. Yeah, you can play on older versions of the game, but those older versions don't have the recent bug fixes. And they don't have the other features that have been added to the game. Right? Like, yeah, sure, I can play on this older version, but the older versions are like bug ridden. They're a mess. Like comparison to now, they are an objectively worse thing, yes, than they are now. But so they got rid of ways of traversing the galaxy. They got rid of the actual mechanisms in which star empires can traverse the map with their ships. They got rid of they made it so that every single alien species uses hyperlanes now in the most recent version of the game. It used to be that you had the option between species using hyperlanes, warp drives, and blah, like black hole, like wormhole tech, where you could go anywhere on the map. The hyperlanes are relatively fast, but you're limited by where on the map you physically have the hyperlanes. The warp drives are slow, but you can go anywhere with them. It's a slow and steady, like regular pace. Just go anywhere at a set speed. The wormhole tech made it so that you have to set up actual infrastructure to use it in a system, and then you could teleport, like immediately teleport anywhere within a radius from a position. It was lovely. It was great. I really liked that particular style of play, and it would allow you to grow and grow and grow. The problem was playing against that is a little powerful. It was really hard to balance the methods of transport. And so the developers were like, oh, hey, this is really hard to balance this. Let's remove all but one. Of a feature that people paid the game for. Paid for, you know? As part of the game that they bought prior to that. So I lost all faith in Paradox because of that. You are not to straight up rip features out of your game after it's been put out for sale. A perfectly working feature of the game. They gutted, and I will oppose Paradox until the end of time. They are not going to get any of my money ever again. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I can unlock some of these like normal text too while I'm at it as I unlock them. Here. I need you. I need the splinter processing, alien bio. Ooh, hello. That's a set of stuff that's not relevant at the moment. I know I need to get in Beta Refugium 2s, but I sort of need Beta Refugium 1. Yeah, that's important. And then what else? What else here? Do I need to go down? Yes, I need you. And I actually need to go all the way to 3 on you, so that I can do this. Because I need an initial seed for Elendylamine. And do I need to go down swamp? Do I need... Oh, that is swamp. What am I thinking? Do I need to go down temperate? Temperate. Where's temperate? No. No, I don't need to go down temperate because I do not need leaves. Let's just go ahead and do another science transfer. I'm not sure how much science I have stored up in my labs. So let's go. Let's do this. Shift C. Go, go, go. Process things. There's apparently over 20 biome planners in a lot of these already. I think I'm good. And we're not actually processing the biome planners on this particular tech. This particular tech just gives me the next rank of stuff. Oh boy. Oh boy. Which one of these will now require leaves? Yeah. Well, here, the thing is... So, leaf. Oh my god, why did they... No. No! No! No, 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 no. This physically hurts me. This is physical pain. Leaves. Ves. There's no leaves. It's leaves. You need them to do rancid puffer puffing and a mixed corrosive puffer breeding. I don't know why I would ever want to do a mixed corrosive puffer breeding. I don't know why I would want to do rancid puffer breeding. But there you go. And nutrient pulp. Or whatever you want for the nutrient pulp. But, yeah, why would I want to do rancid? What does rancid puffer puffing give me? Oh, hydrogen sulfide and acid gas. Yeah, I've got better ways of getting that. I've got better ways. Okay, swamp farming. And I think that's it for now. Fermentation as a trap, don't do it. Fermentation is a bit of a trap. Don't do it. Interesting that this is purple science as well. So I need to keep that in mind. It's unfortunate King does not watch anymore because, of course, I'm not playing Pyandon's mods. I used to have King and Pyandon at least follow the streams. I don't think they do anymore. Not just because I'm not playing the mod, right? Haven't in a little while. I'm out of coffee. I am disappointed. I've at least got an Ollie sleeping next to me. Yeah, she's so great. She's such a cutie. Is it nap time for the kitty? Yes, it is. It's time. It's time for the afternoon nap. Yeah, time for the nap for the kitty. There he is. He's got his nice spot. Got his nice spot right next to me. It's too bad I don't have a big enough space for both of the cats. Although Dolly doesn't really spend much time there. She doesn't really spend much time lap either, or here. But it'd be nice to have a spot for when she does decide that she wants to be with me. Ollie's the one who spends most of his time. Dolly's more independent. She is fine on her own. She likes having her own spot to exist. I will need these eventually, right? I think I'll need these at some point. Quite possibly. Oh hey, there's Refusion 2s. We can go ahead and go up to that. Plan out the mediums as well. Um, build out the infrastructure for the mediums, etc. The rest is just extra. I do believe the rest is just extra. This is a trap. Don't do this. This is an absolute trap. Yeah, nah. Nah, man. Nah. That's not ideal. I guess I'll take the temperate stuff. The text, there's no point not to, I guess. Alright. Beans! It's time for beans. Yeah, don't do bioplastic. It's not ideal. I don't even know why it exists. I mean, it exists because it's interesting, but it's not efficient in any way, shape, or form. Ah, that's probably a thing I would do in Pandon's mods, by the way, if I were to ever get my hands into the thing to make like an accessible Pandon's mods. Yeah, I'd probably just straight up delete like a lot of the traps. Pandon's has a lot of traps. Um, extremely inefficient recipes that only really exist as a means of dealing with a byproduct. Or slash alternative means to get something if you don't have access to the better option. And it just feels like a lot of it can just be cut and like no one touches them at all anyway. So it's like, why are they here? 6 plus 6 is 12, right? 12.4? How many do I need? 12.5, so we're close to the next, doohickey. Getting closer, getting closer. So let me grab you. Right. Delete. Paste. There we go. Solar farm the next. Oh, good. We've got loads of bricks happening. Too bad the wood bricks aren't really used for much. Small electric poles! Hey, I can automate my small electric poles now. Too bad we're, like, at the point where I could make purple medium electric poles. Can I make purple medium electric poles? Should I? Where's Angel's power? There it is. Purple power systems. Well, I absolutely want the purple thingies here. This needs insulated wire. And that's a key difference. So. Insulated wire. Where are you? Here. Insulated wire needs rubber. Rubber. We can make rubber directly out of resin. Or we can make liquid rubber, which is not on the agenda. So, resin is wood. We have resin, therefore we have rubber in furnaces. Now, we don't have resin on the network being brought here. So, in reality, I would need to, am I okay with the bots flying down here, from here, to grab wood? Because I am providing wood onto my network from here, in case I need any to kickstart a system anywhere. So I guess it would just be like, hey, plop a few of those down. Request some wood. Do the thing. Send it out. Send it out. Put down a furnace. Make rubber. Provide rubber. Ta-da! Just as soon as we get some bioprocessors. My constructo bots are a little bit busy right now. They're just a little bit busy. How many are active? So we've got plenty left. We've got 43,000, less than 43,000 available of our 56,000 plus constructo bots. We have a few constructo bots. So this should be met. Looks like I'm missing... How many? 0. I am missing 0 entities. Alright. Until you scan through again, maybe? Ah, glorious. It's building. It's building! When I get new substations, I'll need to redesign the whole thing! Great. I think it's finally chewed through all of the tech, so I will need to bring more over, but I'm going to allow this to process more before manually taking it over. Are you done? Yes, you are done. So let's set these to the deserts. Grab these and just cycle through like that. So, I actually need to process here, EU. I need Zello Squash in the end. So you are going to take a few of those desert gardens. You know what? The whole point of the desert gardens was literally this. So the other half will go into the desert gardens. This will take a while. This is another 300-second craft time. Great. Great. Okay. Thing times 2. You're gonna do swamp, not that swamp, that swamp, and then when I get the temperate one, I'll do the temperate one there. Swamp, go, do the thing. I need elendylamine seeds, or elendylam 1. Elendylam 1! Elendylamoni! Elendylamone! Water. And that will be that. Once those process, just preparing for future shenaniganry. Glorious future shenaniganry. Okay, now that I technically should be getting the stuffs. Rubber. Hey, you placed those yet? Yes. You need to do excuse me? Hi, you. I will need some bioprocessors, apparently. Rubber! Funny thing is, I used to have this here. I removed it at some point, and now I've brought it back. It used to be earlier in the series, part of the whole setup down at the mall, but I don't know why I got rid of this. I don't remember. I think it was because I needed the... It's because I realized that I did not need it for making the red and green wires. Because I remember very specifically that it used to be insulated wires to make red and green circuit wiring. And was surprised when I saw that it is not needed at this point in time with this specific version. So I was like, huh, really? Alright, well, there goes that then. But I think I needed the resin for something. Maybe. No, not really. So it's like, oh, I set all that up and then got rid of it when I realized I don't actually need it. Alright. What else is there? Am I done stalling at this point? Maybe. Maybe. Now, a wonderful, wonderful question. How do I lay this out? In Space Angels, my main Angel series that I did several months ago at this point, but the last time I did this whole process of getting modules, when I did everything in one factory, all the way up to modules. From like the farming, for the fish, for the biters, all the way up, all of the shard processing, splinter processing, all the way up to modules. One factory. One really, 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 really big factory. I don't want to do that again. I think I would rather keep things as separate as reasonable this time. I'm going to separate the crystal shards by type. So, what I mean by that is I'm going to have one of my grid squares be dedicated to making the raw crystal splinters. I will have a separate one dedicated to making the raw crystal shards, and then a separate one dedicated to the raw crystals. Even though it's a lot of repetition, in order to do all three, I'll need a massive scale of the fish production anyway. And I would like to tailor things to each biter size of small, medium, and large. Error. Oh, there. I dropped frames. Excuse me. 1,500 frames dropped because Streamlabs OBS is a pain in the butt, and I think it froze a bit on me there. So essentially, I want to keep the different biter sizes separate. Now, getting into the biter sizes, I just mentioned, oh hey, fish will be part of that equation. I will have the fish there, which also means I would need nutrient pulp. Nutrient pulp is probably going to be done completely separately, as its own independent factory. And I'm thinking that's going to be this. This will be our nutrient pulp in the grand scheme. Now we can compare things for nutrient pulp. We look over here. 5 beans makes 80. 5 corn makes 70. 5 leaves makes 10. 5 nuts makes 40. 5 pips makes 20. 5 fruits makes 60. So, oh, I dropped more frames. Oh boy. 2,196 now. 0.5%. Great. Beans has the highest output of pulp in the end. So if I want 1,000 pulp, we're gonna need a few beans. Now, Zombie Calyptus gives the most beans. But mud vastly increases the scale. On the back end. Mud vastly increases the scale on the back end. That's a lot of washing. I'm going to copy this to compare. Rather than Zombie Calyptus, the Bean Fran. Now, it's more farms. Yes, it is. It is more farms. But what I want to break down here is how much power and how many buildings total. So, all of this from Benafran, broken down to only needing water and viscous mud water. 21.2 megawatts, 174 buildings. Zombie Calyptus, needing extra because I missed a step, but needing only water and viscous mud water. 23.9 megawatts, 179 buildings. So, King Arthur, if you ever see this, Zombie Calyptus is a higher output plant for beans than Benafran, but needs more power and buildings to process than Benafran. Maybe something needs to be adjusted here to make it strictly better than Benafran. Maybe. There really, I think, needs to be a lot more work than just, like, renaming some of these to be a bit more relevant to the current state of, like, content makers in the game. But regardless, I think that there needs to be another, like, a full balance pass on all of these. Because, yeah, it should not be that Benafran is strictly better than the Zombie Calyptus, in my opinion, when Zombie Calyptus gives more beans per unit versus Benafran. This should be a simple yet large versus more complex yet smaller. Like, do you get that balance? Betafran is a very, 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 very simple way of getting beans, but the output should be inherently relatively low by comparison to more complex processes. And from what we've just seen, this is simple and it gives the most for unit power / building counts. And that's really not how it should be. A more complex process should have a higher overall output, which is Zombie Calyptus. This is a more complex process, so it should have a higher output. Yeah, like that's what it is. Like, this is, in my mind, a higher tier plant than the Benafran, and therefore this plant should give me more stuff, and yet it doesn't. It just doesn't. Because the amount of effort to get the plant in the first place requires a massive scale just by virtue of this being mud. Right? Because mud doesn't have a dedicated way of getting mud. I mean, this would be immediately solved by there being a dedicated way of getting mud. Like, a lot of this comes down to mud is just a byproduct of washing and has no way of getting it. Right? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Like, if there was a way of just getting mud from a process as a primary output, this would be inherently better, I would think. It depends, again, upon what is the volume of the building counts to get the mud in the first place. But it would definitely simplify things. But it would simplify things, and then you're getting into, well, but it really shouldn't just be a simple process to get this higher output plant, right? Because then you end up with the problem, then this is simpler than Benafran, and no, it's not how that should be. So there's something going on. The output should just be higher on this zombie calyptus. That's my recommendation. It should just give you more zombie calyptus out for this recipe. Because then you maintain the complexity of having to build the infrastructure to get mud, and having the infrastructure for the heavy mud water, and having to reprocess the seeds and such. This should just give you more, so that it is strictly better than Benafran. For being a more complex process, you do the more complex thing, you get more stuff out. That's how it really should be. Now, enough stalling. We're going to pin this. Huh, add a way of getting dirt and then add water to dirt to get mud. I mean, that's a way. Apparently another mod adds that. I just think it should be part of the main mod itself. Just a way to get mud from, like, a dedicated method. Okay. That is a lot of farms. That is a lot of farms. Now, let's think. Do I want to spend over 50 biome planners to get a better farm? Because I could get a desert environment farm. I could. I could do that. I don't even have things provided on the network, so I would need to grab an amount of stuff from here. Let's just decide, hey, let's make 200 of these guys. We'll keep that limited. We'll only be able to make as many as we have of the samples that go in here, so I have complete control over how many of these are made. Here I am saying that I wasn't going to use them, and here I am using them. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that just the way of things? So that cuts down the power quite a bit, and the number of buildings to make this. Now I am going to need 25 nutrient extractors. So let me put in a request for nutrient extractors. Put in a request on 50, 60 of those. A request for 30 bioprocessors. I don't really need to carry around this many of them. I don't need to carry around all of the things because, well, my bots can build for me. Duh. But old habits. Old habits. And then I think I pretty much have everything else. I mean, I've got seed extractors. I've got washing. I've got salination. Yeah, I think I'm good. I can just go. Once I get the stuff delivered to me. Oh right, it's 5 thingies each, right. Right. I am forgetful. I am very much forgetful. It is It is 5 of these plant life samples per unit of desert environment kit, so really it would be 250. So I need more. There you go. That should get me enough for the build. And a few spare. I'll probably do the same thing with the swamps. And I'll need to do it again for desert because that's Zello Squash. The swamp is needed on the Ellen Dilamine? Yes. This one. Dilamone. Dilamone. And then what about... What about... the other stuff? The Nile Aubergine. That one's desert as well. Okay. So I need a lot of desert stuff. Desert being, apparently, the most important thing. Hmm. Okay. I think I'm good to head off to the, to A square. So, let's keep in mind, this build is not just for beans. This build is for nutrient pulp. And this nutrient pulp is going to be going out to the other factories that will use it to raise fish, raise the biters in the end and such. Anything that really uses nutrient pulp will be able to get it. So where am I going to build next? I've got a whole bunch of blanks on the left, quite a few on the right, and quite a few up top. Let's go... Well, since I already have a train station here with a thing to load, I guess I'll build here. So, 1, 2, 3. Stop. 3 down. Let's go. It's 1. 2. And we're almost there. Oh yeah, I'm still doing that. I should probably delete that. And 3. Uh, yeah, finish that, please. Alrighty then. I need Beatfriend. I'm not standing in my logistic network. Let's be within my logistic network. You have power. Excuse me. Oh, you don't have power. Excuse me. This has nothing to do with Sea Block. My crossing looks good. You'll have to, you mean like this? The intersections? and such. Well, those are from someone else. I did not design those. I got those off the internet. What's the person? Cano, I think. Search for the Foundation rail set. I've got the links on my Discord to the source, the Foundation Rails series. That's the one for the main rail line that has all the stuff. I just did the station. The only thing I've done here is this station and all the individual stations, like the rest, all the intersections and stuff. Those are Cano for Foundation rails. Updated slightly to fix some of the signals on this thing. It's this guy. It's this guy and rotated to be a full 4x4, but it's just a T intersection that's extended. Unfortunately for the right-hand drive version, it's got extra. Now I've fixed it, but by default it has extra signals on the wrong side that prevents trains from going straight through for whatever reason. So they end up, say you have a train on this bottom line going to the right, instead of going straight through, it would end up taking a path like here and around and over, like over and around. It like swings around to get going, and it's like, it annoyed me. It annoyed me greatly. I apparently had 130 Benafran stored up from over time. Well, good to know. 3 buildings to convert said Benafran into seeds. What is the throughput I'm dealing with here out of these? Oh, a bit. I'm dealing with a small amount of throughput. Just a small amount of throughput. Probably just a bit more than I would like a single stack inserter to deal with. So there you go. Da-da. Then I will have the 52 Desert Environment Farms. Oh, joy. 52. Alright. Okay. This is easy. How do I want to divide this? Because we need to have an item in and an item out. That's, what? 26. Alright. 10, 15, 20, 5, 6. And 52. Okay. Output belt. Alright, that will output Betafran as Betafran. Output priority is maintain cycle. 2 ingredient inputs. This will be the sand. Whee! Whee! All the way down the line. And paste all this down. I really should not be doing that. When I should be doing the entire power arrangement. Oh, I hate that. Bring me my purples. I know I have purple. Okay. Fine. No, because it had the other thing next to it. Give it those as well. Bonk. Oh, and yeah, don't make infinity of those or those. Make infinity of those. Just you know, limit the hell out of these. And then this is just based off of how much rubber I get. It's not gonna happen very quickly. Oh. You just need a lot more wood. Okay. Just, you know, make the dudes bring me more wood. Wood. More. I have the spare bots to do that. Bring more. Bring everything from down here. In this. I should just load wood onto the trains and bring the wood up, or just set up the wood production at the mall for extra wood. It's just, you know, there's about that much space left. There's just about that much space left in the mall right now, and yeah, I'm actually running out of stations, if you can believe that, because I need 4 more. I need 4 of these stations for the next levels of brains, for level 3 and 4 brains of construction and logistic bots. So that's part of it. And then there's black circuits on top of that. So I'm thinking of at least 5 items on, like, taken from what's left up here. Then there's like RTGs potentially. There's the other 2 more battery types. So 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 I can think of right off the top of my head for potential inputs in here. Silicon for the nitride potentially to make ceramics. To do all the ceramic intermediates. I have yeah, I've got a pretty large network that I'm working with. My network is big. It's big. I might need a Mall 2. I might need part 2 of Mall. I might need to extend my train stuff, the actual train station here. So that's sort of why I've kept this empty, is so that I could like route a rail around to have another set of stations, of requester stations. Um and if I need to do that, I'll do that. Just have more stations in my mall. Alright, break all that. I should now have an amount of medium electric pole 3s being sent to me. Woohoo! Uh, the medium electric pole 3s will have that little bit of extra oomph. Or I could use these. I would need one on each side times the length of this. Ugh. Ugh. I don't like it. I don't like feeling like I have to do that, but you know, if I gotta, I gotta. I mean, I could have spaced it out a little. Whatever. There we go. Let's get another of these guys plopped. Okay. That is all powered. And that is the seeds. Okay. You need saline. Apparently I need 2 doohickeys making saline. Right. All the way down here. What I need to do is, that. Alright, I need to copy that. That. And that is that. Ta-da. Everything has inputs, everything has outputs. The water, the saline water can come in. How much base water is needed for that saline? Not much. There you go. There's your saline water input. That just leaves the sand. Still need to do both of these steps. Give washers. Actually, give me mall. Mall. Hi. Give me this. Give me this. Oh, I haven't done that. Okay, that can just be tucked into a corner somewhere. Where's my licky? I need a liquefier. Oh, liquefier! I need you to Process that. Da. Power. Alright. And then it's 16. Making sand. Interesting. Interesting that it's 16. Whoops, that's one tile off. I need it there. Alright. Da-da, da, da, da. Place all these. There's all the water. Okay, what's the throughput here? 34.21, but split over 16. Yeah, we can have our buddies, the inserters, inserting. Onwards and upwards. Go, go, go. Enjoy the sand! And that is Binafran. And that is a lot of Binafran growing, growing, growing. Oh my gosh, it in no way, shape, or form comes even close to how good the Hyodon's mod stuff looks like. But I'll take the lower resolution stuff and actually have performance in the game any day of the week. By the way, you happen to move... Uh-huh. Okay. So this makes 119.8. That's a little bit more than 90. Meaning that, as this moves, I'll need to, see, at what point do we hit 90? After 38, so... Once we get here... We're gonna do this. Now, we are going to output priority right, just to make absolutely certain the output priority prioritizes the seeds production. And from here, we may as well just mix it and have the two belts out that we will need in these 20 21 bioprocessors. That is conveniently enough. Seven times 3. So we'll have a belt in here and a belt in here, because 7 is 35, and then 14 would be 70, which is within 90. Yes, because 70 is less than 90. Who would have thought? Who knew that 70 was less than 90? Who'd have known? Who'd have thunk it? Fortunately enough, this is going to actually make less output. Than previously. It actually makes less than my green belt here of total output. Yeah, go this way. Just go this way. Can't really fit the, stuffs in their ideal spots. So I guess in here I will go ahead and use these guys. There you go. That's gonna process the beanifran into beans. Ta-da! And then we need 25 nutrient extractors. Oh boy. Oh joy, oh bliss. I'm wondering about the, lanes, potentially. $25. Pipe! All the pipe. And power. And that is that. Glorious, beautiful, wonderful pulp. 1,000 pulp each second. Oh, oh joy, oh bliss. Give me my... Where's my sulfuric? Oh, I did that. Where's my hydrochloric? Oh, I did that. Where's my nitric? That's my nitric. Hello. Think that's the spacing. I'll adjust it if it's not. Ta-da! nutrient pulp. Just need the constructo bots to construct. By the way, this is done now. I've got another solar array right over here. Yay. Oh, look. All of my base, my entire base is able to be powered off the solar during the day. So the solar that I have available to me is, yeah, a bit. This, however, there's a lot of backups right now. Not everything is operating. It will vastly change once everything is able to operate and fully function. Okay, we are farming. Farming we have gone. At least on the Beanafran side of things, for the nutrient pulp. Well, what if we only want Beanafran? What if it's what if we only need the Beanafran and not necessarily the pulp? Well, this yes, nutrient pulp. Did I ever consider burners? What burners? What burners and for what? Oh, for like the power? For the like for the veggie oil? For the vegetable oil based power to go into like other stuff? Veggie power? Heat pipes and steam turbines instead of boilers. No. Oh, that. Nah. I didn't really consider anything along those lines. Anyway, Mark 4 train with proper doohickeys, wagons, nutrient pulp. Gee, I hope I have enough nutrient pulp. Fly. Excuse me. Full cargo. Circuit condition. Go. Go. Are you full? Yes, you are full. Down. Where's pulp? Nutrient pulp. I need you. Nutrients. Glorious nutrients. Oh hey, we've done agriculture science. Ta-da! We did that. They have the same neighbor bonus as nuclear reactors. Wow. How do I manage the ores in Sea Block? Mineral sludge separation provides 2 outputs, so balance is a bit weird. Balance is a bit weird. With early game Sea Block, you have to manage the iron and copper and just like keep adding buffer space for whichever one you're backed up on until you get access to your individual sorting. It just takes a while to get that because you're blocked by sapphirite ore versus steatite ore because you have mineralized water crystallization. Is that what you're talking about? Or are you what are you talking about? Are you talking about the water giving you sapphirite stereotype? Because otherwise sludge gives you one ore out. And then from there you get the uh ore sorting with catalysts for the ore stuff. Like we get the catalyst recipes. Yes, absolutely, we get the catalyst recipes. We have all of the catalyst recipes. It's just sludge into catalysts. I've spent a long time working with these catalysts and set up builds for the sludge for it. Um, it's just that at the start, with mineralized water, you get sapphirite and stereotype, and they're tied together, and you have to deal with that being tied together. Until you can do sludge into ore. Until you get sludge into ore. Once you get sludge into ore, get it as quick as you can. But that's Sea Block. That's just specific to Sea Block there. So this doesn't use that much space. I wanna make that clear. This isn't using all that much space. I could very easily double this. I could easily double this and add in a little extra station to load on Beanafran, the excess Beanafran, or beans, for that matter. Just load beans in the end. Might be what I do. I might load beans. To do the puffing, or do the puffing here. I mean, there's that idea too. But we shall see. It's like, do I really want to load the beans just to do the initial like breeding on the puffers? Oh yeah, I have to make hatcheries. Right. But that's where we're gonna wrap it up for the day. Today, folks. Today has been the setting up of farming. I mean, we'll need to do more farming, but this has been mostly continuing to wrap our heads around the exact set of things that we need to do and the things that we need to get, and making some critical decisions as to how we're going to do things, which plants we're growing, which fish we're using, etc. Next time we meet, we're going to be focusing on the puffer stuff, and they have some pretty interesting sound effects. The puffer refugiums, they literally fart at you. So when we have an array of multiple of these buildings, it's a constant stream of farting with the puffers. So I guess we can look forward to the constant stream of puffing in our next stream. We will not be able to get all the way up to big biter eggs. We'll be focusing more on getting small and medium biter eggs. I think if we end up with the eggs next time, I'll consider that a success for that stream, because there's a lot of work involved in just setting up the puffers anyway, and then doing the experiments and getting the things I need for the experiments all set up to get the eggs. Once we get the eggs, and once we get like the queens, we have to get eggs, and we have to hatch queens. We need queens. For the small and medium, we need small and medium queens. Out of this process, and if we can get that at least going by the end of the next stream, I'll be happy, so that the following stream we can actually set up biter zoos, crystals, and go from there. And then maybe the following stream will actually see modules. It's going to take a little while for all of this. Yeah, today we've done our setup. We've gotten Nutrient Pulp online. And with that, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Shebut. If you have enjoyed today's stream, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff below the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and hit the notification bell. Consider becoming a member of the channel by hitting the great big blue join button, as well as supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushebut if you are so inclined and able. I, of course, will be streaming more Dyson Sphere program tomorrow and Monday, and we'll be back with more of our Sea Block playthrough on Tuesday. I hope to see you all on the next one.